Ahlan bikum. Are you looking for a beautiful dish with incredible flavours that everyone including vegans can enjoy? Try Imam bayıldı, which translates to the Imam fainted. According to legend, they fainted after trying these stuffed Turkish aubergines from how good they tasted. And personally, I think this dish is worth fainting for. These aubergines are filled with a lightly spiced and really savoury mixture of vegetables that make them super craveable. So if you want to try these easy to make flavour bombs, here's what I did.
The first step is to get the aubergines ready for cooking. In this recipe, I like using shorter, stubbier ones with an even thickness like these. We'll start by peeling off strips of the skin in an alternating pattern, which gives them a nice appearance and helps with the cooking process. Once they're peeled in stripes all around, we'll soak them in salty water, which will remove any bitterness and help season the insides. To do this, rub the aubergines with some salt and then pour over a generous amount of water to cover them. Let them soak for about 30 minutes or until the water has darkened a little. Then you pull out the aubergines, rinse the salt off and give them a quick dry by patting them with some paper towels. Now to get them to form a pocket for the filling as they cook, take a good look at the aubergines and find the nicest looking side on each one. This will become the top of the cooked aubergine. Use a knife to cut a shallow slit in the peeled side, going only a little deep across half the length of the vegetable. To cook the aubergines, you could be traditional and fry them, but we went the easy way and baked them in the oven. And we also tried out a quicker method with an air fryer. To cook them in the oven, place the aubergines on a tray lined with baking paper and generously drizzle them with olive oil. Rub that all over the surface so the skin of each one is nice and shiny and thoroughly coated. This will guarantee they get evenly fried and browned in the oven. Then pop the tray into a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius and let the aubergines cook for about 35 to 40 minutes, flipping them over halfway to get them evenly cooked. And that takes a bit of time, but if you have an air fryer, they'll only take 15 to 20 minutes. Simply oil the aubergines, coating the skin all over just like the oven method, then add them to the basket of the air fryer. Cook them at 205 degrees Celsius for around 15 minutes, flipping them halfway through for that perfectly cooked texture. While the aubergines are cooking, you want to make the stuffing that will turn these plain aubergines into a showstopper of a dish. We'll start by slicing a couple of onions into strips, and that shape will give the filling a really nice texture for the other ingredients to cling to. Next, we'll chop a couple of green chilies into rings for some light heat, and we'll also chop a red pepper or paprika into strips. Follow that up with some garlic cloves which you want to slice thinly, then take a small handful of parsley with the thick stems removed and give it a rough chop into a small size. The last ingredient is a few tomatoes which you'll dice to a nice medium size. Now let's do some magic and turn those vegetables into an incredible filling. I'll place the large pan over medium-high heat into which we'll add some olive oil. Once it has heated for a minute, add the sliced onions and saute them for about 5 to 10 minutes, frequently stirring the pan until they become soft and wilted. When they look opaque and softened, their sweeter flavours will have developed. We can now add the green and red chilies to the pan and cook them for about a minute until they also start to soften. Next, add the sliced garlic and give it a quick mix to cook off the raw garlic flavour, and then it's time to season. Add a bit of salt, then some Aleppo pepper for heat and warmth, followed by black pepper and some cumin to round out the flavour. Mix this well to combine, then we'll add some tomato paste which adds loads of savoury flavour to the filling. Stir that into the pan and saute for about 30 seconds to wake it up, then add the last ingredient left, the diced tomatoes. Cook for a couple of minutes more and then the filling is ready. This is a fainting worthy mixture and you can taste this and adjust it to suit your palate. I think adding some extra spiciness would turn this into an incredible sandwich filling, but today we're going to stuff it into those aubergines. Now once those aubergines have cooked through, they'll have shrunken down and have a shiny skin, but sometimes they darken a lot in the oven. It's not an issue. What matters is that they are soft and cooked through on the inside. The air fryer is a bit better at keeping them from getting too browned and produces a similarly juicy result. Now let's put this together. Place the cooked aubergines in a baking tray, then grab a couple of forks to open up a pocket in each one. You want plenty of space for the delicious filling to sit. When they're opened up, start adding in the filling and distribute it evenly amongst the aubergines so each one is generously stuffed with a flavourful mixture. When all the filling is used, you'll add the last component, which is a simple tomato sauce that adds extra flavour to the dish. To make it, place a small pot on the stove and add in some tomato paste with a little water. Mix together to dissolve the paste, then season with a little salt and black pepper. Turn the heat to high until it just comes to a boil, then pour the sauce evenly over the aubergines. Make sure it gets into each pocket and completely coats the surface of the aubergines. Once they're coated, it's time for a final bake in the oven. This time for 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which will thicken the sauce and caramelize the filling. When it's done baking, the filling will have browned a little and the sauce will have gone all glossy and thick. Sprinkle over some parsley, then plate these up. You can serve them with any carb, but don't forget to spoon over some of that delicious sauce before digging in.
Oh my god. That is honestly insanely flavorful. I think I'm going to be making these for a very long time.